Everyone ready?
Closing which should be adjusted.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us at the December 4th meeting of the Hyde Park Planning Board. Please take note of all exits around the room and now join us as we salute the American flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
When the pledge is longer than is that next?
Thank you. The first item on the agenda is quick into house key. The applicants are seeking a lot line alteration or under our code, a minor subdivision. Making a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Dworak is representing Mr. Quick and Mr. Mr. Houskey. Good to see you guys again. In the interim, we circulated to a variety of agencies, I believe DEC, DOH, DC DPW, because there is an easement that extends along to the Creme Elbow Road, and then also to the Highway Department of Hyde Park, because it's possible in the future there'd be a road opening. We received communication back from the Department of Environmental Conservation, basically that just say that there is a protected pond, and that if you're going to physically disturb the Better Banks, you need to have a permit. Also that there is a potential for Indiana bats around the area. Neither one of these does anything to your proposal, but we'll probably ask you to put a map before we sign, put a note on the map before we sign it, just indicating that they're there. The reason why I say that is in the future, if you go to sell the property and someone wants to build a home on it, if they want it, it will help guide them to know they can't do it within 50 feet of the pond without getting a permit, and that they should, if there are any trees that look like they're suitable habitat for Indiana bats, they should remove them only.
Like a shagbark hickory.
A shagbark hickory. They can only take them down in the months when there's no nesting or rooting.
Between like October and March.
October and March. So we'll just ask that to be put on. Like I said, it'll make it easier in the future so someone wouldn't have to go through the rigmarole you are. In the meantime, do you have anything new to add, Mr. Dworak?
No, nothing. It's I spoke to DEC, and that's the.
Oh, yourself too?
Spoken today, and that's exactly. And I believe that council had mentioned that. I believe that council had mentioned to include that notation on the map to be filed. So
Good.
it's
That'll be minor.
Yep.
And you don't have to do that before we vote. That would just be on the final that would be signed, so it would be filed with the county. Ms. Axelson, do you have any comments on this application? Board, are there any comments?
No, it's good to get this.
Would there anyone from the public who'd like to speak about this application? There being none, making a motion to adjourn this for 2 weeks to our December the 18th meeting?
Could we possibly, whatever we have to do, set it up so they don't have to come back again?
They need to come back tonight if you didn't want to. I mean, we can't close the public hearing yet because we're still waiting for the other agencies to, so in case there's new information that somehow impacts this, which I can't imagine, but we can't close it. But you can just wait and see. I think you've heard from the board that now that you've worked out a way for us to do this, that there's no principal objections whatsoever. All we're waiting for is housekeeping to sort of get cleaned up with the other three agencies. And by the way,
So
the other
you guys
agencies...
don't have to keep coming back.
Yeah, and the other agencies, by the way, don't necessarily have to respond. If they don't respond, which Department of Health sometimes doesn't, it means they have no problems. They just don't tell us either way, or whether they don't communicate that. So if we receive no response, as long as we give them the allotted time that's legal, the 30 days, if they don't respond within that time frame, then we can take action no matter what, and it can't be overturned by court. So you don't have to come back if you want to go start your holiday early.
Yeah, and that would be my motion to do that 2 weeks, I guess it is.
Yeah, to continue this to the December 18th
And then
meeting.
everybody's time limit is up and we
Yep.
can
And we can take action
get
that
this
night.
off our
Very
plate.
good.
You guys don't have to come back.
Is there-
Second that.
Thanks. All in favor?
Aye.
Any approve any disapprove? Abstain? No, thank you. We'll see, we won't see you in 2 weeks, but
But
Unless you want to be.
have a nice holiday, guys.
I have Mr. Dworak's email. If you want to give me either one of your emails, I can share a copy of the resolution with you that we'll vote on in 2 weeks, if you'd like to see it in advance.
I'll make sure you get it.
Okay, thank you. The next items on the agenda are strictly housekeeping as well, but housekeeping for us. Just to remind anyone in the audience, as well as my colleagues, Our first normally scheduled meeting of the planning board in 2014 would be January 1st. Because the 6 people whose terms will extend past this one voted, including myself, to not have that, to cancel that meeting, so we wouldn't be here meeting by ourselves, basically, and not worry about trying to reach quorum. Our first meeting will not be until the 15th. But because we need to appoint our consultants at the beginning of every year, if we didn't appoint them now so that they could start January 1st, 2014, they would be unable to work legally from January 1st to January 15th. So Ms. Dexter cannot vote on this. She's recused because her current term ends December 31st. She cannot vote until such time as she's reappointed. In the meantime, though, there are 5 of us tonight that's quorum for next year who can vote to reappoint our current consultants. I've spoken to both sets of consultants, and no one is raising their rates from this year, so they'll be keeping them. For that matter, Victoria, our attorney, wanted to be here, but she would have to charge time for Quick and Dehowski to be here, and I said don't, but just to thank us. And Ms. Axelson provided us a letter from Morris Associates, with Mr. Sotero partner, saying how much she appreciates working with us for another year. So any discussion before we vote on these resolutions? Everyone had a chance to read them? Who'd like to read? Who has each one?
Everybody's got one, but I'll read one.
Thank you.
Just taking it right out of the... Resolution number 13-8, resolved that the Town of Hyde Park Planning Board does hereby appoint Morris Associates LLC located at 9 Elks Lane, Poughkeepsie, New York, to provide engineering and planning consultant services to the Planning Board from January 1st, 2014 to December 31st, 2014, at rates referenced in a contract dated January 1, 2014, with attachments, and authorizes the chairman to sign the contract incorporating these rates.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. I will do the second resolution. Resolution 13-H, December 13-I, December 4th, 2013.
Slow it down.
Be it resolved that the Town of Hyde Park Planning Board does hereby appoint Rapport Myers LLC, located at 20 Springbrook Park, Rhinebeck, New York, 12572, to provide legal services as a consultant to the Planning Board from January 1st, 2014 to December 31st, 2014, at the same rates as paid in 2013, and authorizes the chairperson to sign a contract with Rapport Myers with a detail of escrow charges dated January 1st, 2014. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstained? The motion carries. And may I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.
8 minutes.
8 minutes since...
Thank you, Media Committee.